Welcome to Karaoke Wine with Jules and Tessa.
Welcome.
Karaoke Wine.
Yes.
Very special edition.
Yeah, I think it's been our 1 year.
Technically today, as we're recording, it is Friday the 28th.
Yes. And we have new merch.
Look how stinking cute this stuff is, you guys.
Yeah.
Okay, we got our microphones with our wine glasses. Everybody needs them.
What does my hat say? I don't even know what I'm wearing.
All the things. In order to do all the things, okay? And a fan favorite, dead. Carpe diem, bitches. Like, can we even, and look, we even have our signature pink.
Yes.
So cute. Anyway, we are going to be
Loves it.
launching this, and we're also wearing.
I'm just obsessed.
Yeah, obsessed.
It's so soft.
So soft.
I'm going to be like, what I need to do after this is I now need to buy some Air Jordans.
Yes.
That are like matching my sandstone.
And these are the sweats.
I know. I'm so excited.
Stop it right now, you guys.
Yeah.
Like, who even are we? It's like we're a real podcast. Okay?
Yes.
Also, thank you to all the fans out there who've already pre-ordered, and also the fans who we accidentally made their ears bleed. Yeah. Thank you for participating in the engagement.
I love it.
All right. So,
and I'm wearing a jacket over my sweatshirt because Tessa's apartment is always
naked.
A morgue.
Yes.
That's why she looks so good. It's because she's frozen.
I mean, I need more Botox, but I want my lips bigger.
Well, to that, cheers to 1 year.
1 year. And it wouldn't be us without a 1 year of, we had a moment before we started to record this.
We were yelling at each other. We had like a WrestleMania SmackDown.
We did. We definitely did. A lot of you guys know Jules and I are past, I think, what you would consider friendship, and definitely more into sisterhood, which essentially means sometimes we have really big blowout moments. Actually, this is the second time this has happened, really. Yeah. And unfortunately for us, but fortunately, we're stuck with each other. So we have to find a middle ground. And I will say that Jules was the bigger person this time because Tessa was pretty...
What do you mean? When were you the bigger person last time?
Okay, so true to Jules's form, she is the older, wiser sister, and I am the stubborn younger sister who doesn't know how to appropriately say, my feelings are hurt. It just comes out in anger and tantrum sometimes. So,
well, we matched each other's anger this time.
We did.
Yeah. So cheers to that.
Cheers to that.
Irish and Italian know how to fight.
It was a good one.
Yeah, it just didn't last long, which was great.
Yeah, I, of course, no, could never.
You start this off because this was your idea.
Okay. So I got really excited. I was watching a couple of shows last weekend, and there is a movie that is currently streaming on Netflix called Oh Hi, like O, H-I. And I watched it, and it really made me think about modern dating.
She called me. She's like, I heard the next episode. And I was like, okay, what? And she's like, oh, hi. And I was like, what the fuck is that?
What are you even talking about? If you haven't seen it, please watch it so that you understand what we're talking about in this episode. But the premise of the movie is these two younger people have been dating for 4 months. And there was a specific conversation that happened about sleeping with other people using condoms. And in the movie,
they were not fluid exchanging.
Which, what's the point, right? No.
Oh my God.
But the point is that she approached this, as I can assume that would be in a don't sleep with anybody else, we're exclusive so that we don't have to use condoms. And he heard, well, I just have to use condoms with everybody else. Yeah.
Which is what I heard.
That's also,
and I was like, that makes sense.
It does. And I think that it really talks about the type of communication that is happening right now in the dating world, where people can't just be upfront with the hard, if you don't want to be in a committed relationship with me, then this isn't working. And I think they try to downplay the type of commitment that they're looking for, because I feel like she may have done that. To her point, though, in the movie, because this isn't just hating on, you know, the girl being like make believe in her head, they were on a romantic vacation and been dating for 4 months. Yeah. And in her mind, we're serious. He was talking to his mom about her. You know, everybody knew that they were together essentially in their friend group. So I think it really made me realize, you know, people are thinking that they're communicating clearly what they want, but they're not. Anyway, she ends up chaining him to a bed for 12 hours.
I mean, it started off as a really good date.
Yeah.
And then they have this conversation as she's unbuckling him, and the whole argument transpires, and she's like, you know what? You can sleep in these restraints till morning. Yeah. You can think about what you just said to me. You have 12 hours.
Yeah, 12 hours, because he told her that they weren't serious. She made a comment about them being in a committed relationship, and he was like, that's not what we're doing here. Then they brought up the condom conversation. So the movie goes on with her essentially opening up to him more and, you know, talking about herself and trying to convince him that they should be together.
While he's chained up, y'all. Like, I don't think you guys understand.
It's like a very Misery with Kathy Bates, remember? Yeah.
But it was just, sometimes it was hard to watch. I was like, girl, what are you doing? And I know we joke about guys in the dungeon, but we don't really fucking mean it. Like,
stop talking down there.
But to the guy's point, I'm going to side with the guy on this one.
Yeah.
Sorry, crazy. When I start dating someone and we are having sexual relations, I make it very clear that I do not have a bench. I do not have a roster. Yeah. I am not seeing anybody else. And if I'm having sex with you, it's not, I assume you're not having sex with anyone.
Right.
I am the only one you're having sex with. Period. Oh. And if you don't want to do that, then you're just not going to sleep with me.
Yeah.
Or date me. I don't care.
Well, and I think that's part of what you and I were talking about today is I've been so transparent from day one. And I feel like I may have mentioned this once or twice on the podcast before, but I joke all the time about my times in Chicago. And I was very upfront with the guys that I was seeing back then. And I never took them seriously, where a lot of my friend group still follows a lot of these men that I was hanging out with. Exes. And have basically watched their lives for the last 10 years. And I'm like, I don't even know who that guy is. And one of my...
Can I maybe make a suggestion? Because like in Chicago, and I'm just assuming that at that age you were predominantly wasted the whole time.
I mean, we were, but like I
don't know.
I was, but I also... You know, when I was in Chicago, I was so ambitious and I didn't have time. I didn't make time to create a meaningful relationship with anybody. Yeah. So I never took anything that I was doing seriously, but I was extremely upfront about it. Like I know, like in fact, when people would start catching those feelings, that's when I would cut it off, because I was like, this is not... You know, that's not what this is.
She would jump ship.
Yeah. Well, actually, kick them out. Like, okay, number...
I did it once in college.
Yeah.
I was like, I'm done. Bye.
Yeah. Number 7, please leave. Got to find another number 7. Lucky number 7. Oh bullshit.
Oh, my God.
Just kidding.
No, but the girl did spiral. She sits in her car. She drinks alcohol. She gets on Instagram. She is watching all these, like, self-help podcasts.
Yeah.
well, first of all, we're not doctors. We're not psychologists. We're not any of that stuff. We are talking just strictly from our perspective in a funny, humorous manner. And hopefully you guys can relate because this is real life.
Yeah.
But she went down like the Mel Robbins kind of ish rabbit hole.
She did.
And she was like, oh my God, all he needs to do is realize how amazing I am when he's chained up on the bed. Like, it's just crazy. It's just crazy how she thought that like not allowing him to like roam freely.
And she really acted on her intrusive thoughts, because I think there's been plenty of situationships that many people, men and women, have been in where they get that one moment of psychoticness where, you know, nonstop texting, nonstop calling, trying to fix what isn't fixable. It's just not wanted. And like, I think that's the biggest disconnect in dating is people will make the time, they will make the effort if they want to, but it has a zero reflection on what value you have as a human. You just have to know, okay, this person just told me. So, Oh, Hi, for example, this movie, this person just told me like they don't want things serious with me. So you have to make the choice. Okay.
Yeah.
But I really like what we're doing right now. And I really like this person. But am I willing to do this continuously and see if maybe it can become something more? Or do I jump ship now when they're already telling me that they're never going to get to that spot? So that's an on them thing. That was like on her thing.
Right.
Like, she had a choice instead of chaining him to a bed, but like, more kudos to you, girlfriend.
I mean, yeah.
Yeah.
I think at the end of the movie, it was really sweet because they did have a moment of, I really like you or liked you, you know, pre-kidnapping. I really liked you. And it's just unfortunate that I personally cannot get there, and I won't get there. And he said, there's something fucked up with me.
Yeah.
That I cannot give this to you.
Yeah.
And I mean, what do you say to that? Like, self-awareness. And if he just had that conversation maybe on day one, and I said this in a podcast a long time ago, you tell me your thoughts on a situation and I will tell you whether or not I want to partake in that situation. And you hiding certain things or wording them in a certain way or maneuvering a certain way and not giving me that chance to make that decision for myself.
Yes.
It's just it's not fair. It's not nice. So I can understand why she thought the way she thought, but her reaction, obviously it's a movie, guys. I know this, but Lorena Bobbitt, she cut off his dingling. So, I mean, girls get there and guys get there too. It's just like, heat in the moment.
Well, I also think because I'm assuming that most people have seen Nobody Wants This because it's such a huge show right now, but it's the conversation she had with the rabbi on, wait, you bought her flowers? Wait, you did all these nice things? And he's like, well, yeah, I do that for all the women in my life. But to her, that's something that you do if you're serious about somebody. To him, it's a normal Tuesday. So like, again, the girl that he didn't remember that
But that
part.
doesn't make him a bad guy. That's just who he is.
Right. But like in her, even Kristen Bell was like, I would think that you were serious about me. No wonder she's upset with you.
No, 100%.
Yeah.
100%.
Right.
And even in the movie Oh Hi, the girl says he's the opposite of the fuck boy. He's the soft boy. He loves doing all the things of a relationship has to offer, but doesn't actually want to be in the relationship.
Yeah.
So there is always going to be the end of the road for him. And whether that's 4 months or 5 months or 6 months, and I'm just throwing it out there, guys, maybe if she just continued being amazing and having those amazing experiences with him, he could have gotten there on his own and realized, oh my God, a year later, we're still doing this. I am in a relationship. I can do this.
I mean, maybe there's a very big possibility, but I also think that he had an aspect of self-awareness. And that was kind of that ending scene where he was like, I'm never going to give you what you want. I know that about myself.
Yeah.
And I think that it takes an incredible person to be that honest, one with themselves and with the other person. Because she even said, like, I didn't make this up in my head, that what we had. And he's like, you didn't.
Yeah.
What we had
true.
was great. And that's, again, we've said this in other podcasts, like, just because of the timing that it was doesn't mean it wasn't real. Feel the feelings, get through them.
Yeah.
But you've got to meet people where they're at, and you've got to listen to where they're at too. Like, you can't just make assumptions because of where you're at in your feels. And kind of how I approached dating with that guy that I was like, it wasn't so much about how do I feel about him. It was how do I feel when I'm with him? How do I feel when I'm not with him? Like, I kind of switched the script on me. And, you know, I think one of the best parts of the movie that was like her best friend shows up with her boyfriend.
Okay, so let's talk about this.
Okay, but honestly, if I showed up and you had somebody chained to a bed, I probably would have reacted the same exact way. But let's be fair, it would have been the other way
but
around.
if it was the opposite, if it was me walking in there, I'd have been like, what the fuck are you doing? You need to let him go right now.
Yeah.
And I would just I'd be like, Tessa, you need to leave.
Yeah.
And I'd be like, okay, let's talk. We're obviously letting you go, but we need to talk about the after.
Would you?
Yes. Girl.
It was a very...
Every life is important.
Yeah, ever. Well, and I think that, you know, Jules and I, you know, one of the things that I've started doing since we started this podcast is like, not that I'm eavesdropping on other conversations, but I feel like I pick up on more things when I'm out. And I texted her the other day, yesterday actually, and I was like, hey, I just overheard this in a bagel shop. And it was this young guy. He had to be like probably 20, you know, maybe still college, maybe a little bit out of college. I'm not sure. Home for the holidays, obviously. But he was talking to his dad about a friend who was dating a girl, and they were really great together. So same consensus, like, but she wanted more and he did not. His friend did not want more. And they broke up because she was like, if that, you're not going to give me what I want, like, walking away. And then they got back together because he realized, like, oh my gosh, she's amazing. I want to be with her. And they started back up again. However, they flipped.
They flipped the script.
Yeah. He tried to have a serious conversation with her after sleeping with her again for a few months. And she was like, oh, like maybe he asked to take her out or something. I don't know all the details. And obviously I just observed this and overheard it. But the girl was like, no, this is just physical for me now. Like I'm not taking you in public.
I get that too, because she, on her off time when she wasn't with him, she was like, I'm fine. I don't have to do this.
Yeah.
And then when he came back around, she was like, okay, well, that's what he wanted before. Okay, well, I'm down with that because,
Yeah.
you know, no skin in the game. Like, let's go.
It's just like one of those things. I was just watching it because I think the movie Oh Hi, not the Overheard, but it just kind of went into what we're talking about today. I was watching it. It made me think of the bigger picture. And then I started down a rabbit hole and I started watching all their interviews, the actors in their interviews. And it was actually interesting because the male character, his name was Isaac. So they kept referring to it as like,
Getting Isaac.
Yeah. Where, you know, you have this really intense emotion and it's so great, but they just aren't capable of getting to that next step with you. And it was interesting because the actor was like, yeah, I've actually been Isaac'd more than I've ever Isaac'd. And it was interesting to hear that perspective because I really think that more people are Isaac versus getting Isaac'd, because I don't think that.
But I don't know, because it's always, and it doesn't have to be a short-term relationship.
No.
It can be a long-term relationship. And then someone's like, what are we doing? Like, are we going to get married? Are we going to have kids? Like, and the guy or the girl is just kind of stringing it along.
Yeah.
And then you're just finally like, okay, well, obviously this isn't going anywhere. And then you make the decision to leave.
Yeah. And you have to make that decision for yourself. I think a lot of times when you're in any type of relationship, that if you feel like you have to bend your boundaries to a point where it's impacting you negatively, then it's not a good relationship to be in. You know what I mean? If to our point earlier, Jules and I had like a moment, but we were able to get through that moment and we're going to be better for it, right? But let's say, for example, that her and I couldn't have an honest conversation like we did today, even if like feelings got hurt slightly in the things that we may have said in the heat of the moment, or, you know, it could have escalated more. We were able to come back down. You have to be able to do that with anybody that you're in a relationship with, because people grow in different ways and you might outgrow a certain relationship, romantic, friendship, family, otherwise. And if you can't respect each other enough and respect yourself enough to walk the same path, but stay in your lane, I think is one of the things that she said. We need to stay in our lanes is what she said, not told me to stay in my lane. But
No, I said, I stay in my lane, you stay in your lane.
Yeah.
And we'll like respect each other's boundaries, and that's it.
And I said, okay, well, and these are my boundaries. She's like, that's
that.
exactly what I wanted to happen in the first place. And I was like, okay, I am an asshole and I'm sorry. I am saying it publicly to the world. Yes. I think that's one of those things, you know, circling back to the Oh Hi movie, because that's what this topic is about.
I love that you just did a parrot circle.
Yeah. Bobblehead.
Why am I the only one drinking on this episode?
I don't know, but I think I might need.
I'm like gulping. When I get in a fight, because I never yell, like ever.
Okay, so that is actually interesting.
Don't ever say you never yell.
I just talk loud
all the time.
I talk so loud. That's not me yelling. That's not me yelling. You tell them that's not me yelling. It's not me yelling. Today,
you're yelling right now.
Yeah, I know. That literally sounds like I'm yelling right now. No, there was a moment today where I don't even know what words are being said because we were trying. Like it just.
At one point, I was like, I shaked and like I was like looking at my phone. I was like, I gotta like think about something else. Like,
yeah,
I can't.
I don't even. You couldn't even hear. It was
dog.
It was just noise. You know, when the music gets so loud, you can't even hear it anymore. That's essentially what happened.
Yes.
Anyway, I'm also drinking. We can take a pause in a second and grab another one because I might need another one. But this movie. I took it a little bit deeper than I think most people do. And I think it's just because of, you know, some things that I've been through in the last 2 years. And I felt that I was the girl on the other end assuming something was more than it was. Because I do live in quite a fantasy world, because I would much rather live in the fantasy world until it ends knowing that I put my best foot forward. Like, I am a lover by nature, as hard ass as I am, and Jules can hopefully attest to this, but I love hard. Like, and I want to believe the best, but I also have had things in my life, like every other human, that can make me a little bit more cynical when it comes to dating and when it comes to love, and I want my heart to be open, but it is challenging for me. So I think a lot of the times, instead of being more outwardly open with somebody, which I think I'm better at now, I internalize it and live in a little bit of a fantasy land. So then it hurts a little bit more. But I too have been in a position where, knowing that this, in the movie she even says that this guy had a reputation of being a fuckboy, but he pursued her. And because he pursued her, she thought she was different. And that's not the case at all.
Well,
like, we've all been there.
Girls, and I'm only... when they meet the kind of fuckboy and then they're dating and she's like, I'm going to change him.
Yeah.
Like, I'm the girl that he stops being the fuckboy. And you might, but
you're always going to be the rule, not the exception. Just just get that through your head for right now. Like,
on the first like two, what was that episode? It was like episode 2 or something where you're like, don't stop until you're the exception.
Yeah.
Now you're like, you're always a rule.
Yeah. But that's the thing.
Later you're like, fuck bullshit. You're going to be the rule.
No, but
you're never going to be the exception.
But that's what I'm saying is, like, you're always going to be the rule until you are the exception, is what I should say.
I was like, damn.
But you will know that you are the exception. I think that's the difference, is that sometimes we convince ourselves and we start taking little nuggets of goodness and we sprinkle it onto what it could be and what if? And then we start to live in something that's not the reality. And when you are the exception, you know when you're the exception.
Yeah.
Like, we've all been there in moments where, like, you feel it, you're the exception. One of our girlfriends right now has been dating somebody for 4 months, and they've taken things, like, extremely, extremely slow. And I was talking with her the other day, and they both had a moment last week. And she had a really stressful moment, and he had a ventful moment about something in his life. And I was like, but didn't it feel good that you've known each other for 4 months and you didn't muddy the waters so much with that stuff yet? And like you guys have started to learn each other a little bit slower so that when you did have that ventful moment, you both knew how to be there for each other.
Yeah, that makes sense.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Versus,
well, you know how people respond and how people react and how people take things and there's no wrong
way or right way to go into dating. You just have to make sure that you're putting yourself and your feelings.
Like, what if dating was literally like check the box? Like, is this exclusive? Yes or no? Like the 21 questions. Like,
I just don't think it would
before you even date.
Yeah.
You just get it out all on the table and there's no miscommunication. And then you're like, okay, let's proceed. Yeah.
I don't know if people would do that because it wouldn't be fun.
Wouldn't it be fun?
I think it's called speed dating.
True. But speed dating is like, I don't know, like too speedy.
Well, even when I went on that.
Have you ever done speed dating?
No, but we should.
Just for like shits and giggles.
Yes. You know what? I did sign up for a singles like networking thing. And then it asked me what qualities I was looking for. And I was like, can I do this later? So I'm probably not going to get a call back from that project. God. But
that's funny.
I mean, I just wanted to be invited. And then they gave me like 7 pages of homework, which is interesting because I think people in general now, you know, watching that movie Swiped.
Yeah.
Okay. One of the things was that they had to fill out all that information and people just didn't want to do it.
It's like Match.com.
Yeah.
Like a whole questionnaire.
I think people are starting to get back into that we have been talking about.
Yeah, because the dating profile. If you're putting so much time and effort into the initial questionnaire and what you're looking for, you're obviously in there for the right intention.
Right.
Because nobody looking for a fuck buddy is going to spend 30 minutes to an hour, you know, doing the questions. It just weeds them out. I highly... thumbs up.
Did I ever tell you how I downloaded a Tinder profile, why I did it? I don't know if I ever told our audience, actually.
I didn't even know that you had a Tinder profile.
I did in Vegas. So this tells you I lived in Vegas in my early 20s. Yeah. Like this was 13 years ago. One of my friends really wanted a husband and she downloaded Tinder and I even knew. I was like,
not what Tinder is for.
I know. And I told her that. She's like, no, it isn't. I was like, watch what happens. So I downloaded it, matched with somebody, took him home with me for some pleasantry adult time just to prove a point.
I hope he was hot.
He was. He was hot.
Like if you're gonna just do it to prove a point,
he was. And then I came to work the next day. The unfortunate part is we met at a bar and he was very religious and didn't drink. So I was like, why are we at the bar? And I'm like, okay, should we just get out of here then? Because like I'm not gonna drink. Yeah. So then I just took him home. Probably didn't have to do that to prove a point. I mean, I was 22, 23 at the time. So it just sounded like a better idea than it really actually was.
You're like, I'm going to show you.
Yeah.
That you do not meet your husband on Tinder.
You don't. So what? That was actually detrimental to who I am. Like, it didn't prove anything to her. Anyway.
It did prove a lot to her.
Who I am. Not who Tinder is.
Exactly.
Oh my gosh, I just realized that I can't believe I actually did that. And I think that's part of the problem, though. I think that people are starting to resort back to filling in more information on the dating apps. They want to see what people are actually saying on these more intense profiles or more intense questionnaires because it became a swipe left, swipe right on what you look like, and nobody was reading the profile. So I feel like we're starting to, the millennial generation, now that we're getting older and we're like, yeah, I actually kind of want to, settle down,
I like to read a good book. Let me see your profile.
And then it goes, what are you interested in? Can I fill this out later? But my phone was hot, so I was hoping that maybe because my phone.
Imagine, because dating is like everyone's a behavioral scientist. Like they're just trying to figure you out, and they're trying to
psychoanalyzing you.
They're trying to read a profile and be like, is this the right fit? Would we have connection, chemistry, all of the things? And, you don't know until you actually go on the fucking date.
And that's part of the problem is like, I think we even got to a place, they did like a study on kids. And I know we're slightly going off topic, but I think we're actually very on topic. The problem is people don't know how to socialize anymore. Somebody said like the worst thing to happen to people in high school, like I think it was like at 16 to 25 right now, is the remote role, because you don't social engage anymore.
They never actually physically asked a girl out or a boy out.
Yes,
and I saw that, and I was like, wow, that's crazy.
Yeah.
I've never asked a boy. No, I've never actually asked a boy out, but I have given them the eyes of like, it is okay to approach. I won't kill you.
What do you think my eyes say?
I will kill you.
I will kill you. There's a dungeon.
There's a dungeon.
It's just like one of those things that it's.
But that's like the whole fun of it. A guy approaching you and talking and seeing if there's chemistry. And then if there is, you say yes. And if you say no, you're like, not interested, but thank you for, like, I always give props to guys that actually come up to me.
Oh,
like,
100%. I'm never, it's so interesting because I actually talked when I went on the date with the, what did we even give him a nickname? I can't even remember his name.
Doctor?
Yeah, we can call him Doctor. It's fine. You can call him Doctor.
Doctor.
But I even told him I'm just not very approachable when I'm out in public with my friends because I'm so focused on what I'm doing. But if anyone came up to me and tried to talk to me and I wasn't interested, like I'm still very cordial because I know how much it takes to walk up to somebody, especially if they're out with their friends or especially if they're by themselves. Like if you're approaching somebody and trying to be like, hey, can I buy you a drink or do you want to dance with me? Like I am never judging somebody for that. I'm also like telling them like, hey, listen, I'm not interested and I love that you came up. Like you're super nice or whatever. Maybe I don't like, do that too much because I'm like not interested. But I let them down easily because I think that it is very intimidating, regardless of what the person looks like. If you find them attractive, going up to somebody you find attractive, it's hard.
I was single. Who was I with? I don't remember. I think I was with my girlfriend Taryn at the time. And there was like a hot guy and I was like, I want to go up to him. She's like, do it. You're a hot girl. Like he's not going to say no. I could not do it. I was like shitting my pants. I was like, no. It's okay. I'm not going to say hi. I'm not even going to do anything. And we laughed. Like I was like, it's so intimidating. Just the thought of being rejected is really hard. So I get it. If a guy came up to me, like you always have to give props and like kudos to you because you are like the 1%.
Yeah. I have been rejected before. It never stopped me from still.
No, it doesn't stop you. But like,
I went up to a guy.
It's just a mind game. Like I was like, I'm not even going to go there.
Well, I went up to a guy once and I was like, you're really hot. And he's like, I kind of want to make out with your friend. And I was like, Roger that.
Cool. But honesty, respected.
I was super respected.
Now, if you started dating someone and they said, I don't know where this is going to go. I don't know if I want to have a relationship. I don't want to have this. Do you do the wishy-washy and be like, okay, well, let's just see where it goes? Or are you like, no, you got to have a clear line of sight?
I think because I'm just in a very different place now with dating. And I think I've said this on the podcast before when people are like, he was never going to settle down or she was never going to settle down. And then it was the, you know, right timing for somebody. I genuinely believe, even if everyone around you, for example, me, right? Tessa doesn't want to be with anybody. That's what I'm saying out loud. But then I meet somebody tomorrow and we're engaged in 6 months. I believe that person who was telling everybody they didn't want anything actually deep down did want something, because I do believe people make it work for what they want. And if somebody told me, hey, I just don't want to be in anything committed, I'm not hearing they don't want to be in anything committed. I'm hearing they don't want to be committed to me. So then I have to make the choice of, am I okay with not having this person commit to me and continue looking while I'm still enjoying myself? And to your point earlier, I'm just too busy. Like, I've never had a roster, even when I was, you know, going through my crazy days in Chicago. It was never all at the same time. It was just kind of, it was back to back because I was out all the fucking time.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So I don't think so. I think I'm very well aware of what I want. And I think that, you know, I also saw this other thing on social media where guys sometimes they tell you, like, I'm just not ready, because they're just not interested, because they want to let you down easier. But in my mind, when somebody says that, I immediately think, okay, so there's hope. Because if roles are reversed and I'm genuinely not interested, like I'm just straight up about it. So like I take things very literally, and I feel as if, it's not even I feel, I tell guys that I'm dating, like, just tell me straight up. Like, you're not going to hurt my feelings. I would much rather you be like, I just don't see it with you. Yeah. Totally okay. Now, to that point, I think people dismiss way too soon these days. I think people take too much impact from one message and automatically assume that someone's full personality. There's no more grace for humanity and people being people trying to learn and grow within a relationship right now. There's just not.
And I agree with you. I think it's where I'm at in my life right now and through all of my dating histories. It's like, just let people maneuver how they want to. And if it doesn't work for you, like, dip the fuck out. Like, okay, this is what you thought a perfect boyfriend was to me. Well, I disagree with you, so thank you, bye-bye. Yeah. Or like vice versa. Like, my girlfriend goes out all the time, but I love her energy, but it's just not for me. Like, you're allowed to be like that. It's nothing to do with you. It has everything to do with the person. Like, personal preference. And I said this to like my girlfriend the other day. I was like, listen, he can do whatever he wants, and if that's okay with you, then that's okay with you. If you're not okay with it, fucking leave.
Yeah, exactly.
Like, I just don't, like, it's just like very clear. It's like black and white.
Well, I think you've also, and I just lost my train of thought, but you did mention something in another episode, and it'll come back to me. There is one thing that I do want to say is, I think because people are suffering from innate loneliness right now because they're not filling their lives. Like, they're thinking that a relationship romantically is going to all of a sudden make them happy. Mm-hmm. And I think that there's this like epidemic right now where people are trauma bonding so soon from somebody you swiped on an app because you liked their smile or their eyeballs. And then they go to meet them for the first dinner. And instead of giving those people the chance to get to know each other, they're like, this is what I like. This is what I don't like. This is what I'm looking for. This is what I want. Jules and I were very much like that when we first started this podcast. Like, on our first dates that we were going on, we're like, if you can't be this, 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 and this, and want this, this, and this, and this, and they're like, they're like, can we at least get water at the table?
Yeah,
I mean, our server hasn't even come over. Yes, and like,
I wouldn't want a second date with
no, like,
bro,
yeah,
chill out.
Yeah, and
first date.
and I think that I realized, like, I think when you give people too much information, one, it hinders them from being able to show you who they actually are in a good and a bad way. Because if you're like, I love this, but it's something they hate doing, they may do it up front. And then you start to think, oh my God, they're doing all the things that I love and hiding all the stuff that you told them that you didn't like. So you're not actually getting to know the person.
It all comes out eventually.
It does. And you have to give grace. I think that as a society right now, especially people our age, we give so much grace to our family. We give so much grace to our friends. And maybe not as a society, but as a tacit tyranny, like I never really give grace to the romantic partners that I'm dating. And something interesting happened the other day. I was talking to one of my best friends and we were talking about Southern Charm because I connected them for business purposes. And I haven't obviously talked to Southern Charm, but the more that I think about it, I'm like, he took such good care of me with like quality time and acts of service when we were together. He just didn't take great care of my heart when we weren't together. And that's something that's important to me. I don't want to just feel so great when I'm with you. I also want to feel safe when I'm not with you. He also met me at a very challenging time for me personally. And she kept saying, well, I just wish you would have met you. Like, I wish you would have actually known who you actually are. Right. Because he didn't. He saw a very different version of me. And I put it back on her. I'm like, but maybe that's what attracted him to me, because I wasn't where I am now. And now that I am in this very different spot, we are too different, because I'm not in that state of mind anymore. And that's something that you have to come to realization too. Like, they may check every box on the list of what you're like, damn, like that's like what I really want. But you can't look backwards. You always have to look forward. You always have to, because if you continuously are taking one step forward but turning your head the whole time, you're actually going to probably hurt your neck if you're above the age of 32.
You're funny.
Right? But you know what I mean? So like this movie that we watched, I saw it as a deeper meaning back to the intrusive thoughts that people just want to hold on to something no matter what, because they created it in their head. They showed a physical aspect of it, obviously, by her chaining him to the bed or handcuffing him to the bed. But I think that every woman has been there. I think every man has been there. Like, don't let me go yet. Let me prove to you.
The chains were a metaphor.
Yeah. They really were. And at the end, they had that moment. And he's like, I'm never going to give you what you want. And she's like, well, I'm just happy that you apologized and admitted that you did give me everything that I wanted. So me getting to this point of like, this is something that's going to last. Was not on just me. And he was like, it's not. Like, I'm accountable too. And I think it can go, it goes both ways all the time. And I think it's more about being honest with yourself where you're at, to be fair. I think people need to be a little bit more honest with themselves and know exactly what they want, especially with the harder, more committed stuff.
I concur.
And on that note,
to do all the things.
Hold on. Let me get ready. Let me put the black one on, though. Yeah.
Oh, the black one's nice.
Yeah, the black one's really nice. I think I'm going to give this to Nugget because she said
so
she wanted it. Yeah. They're so comfy, too, you guys. All right.
that.
So to do all the things, Carpe Diem, bitches.
So good.
Oh my God, such a good episode.
I loved it.
Thank you for watching this episode of Karaoke Wine. Please like and subscribe.